Hi, BookTube. It's Peg. I am at the History Shelf. I promised you a birthday book haul, and this is my birthday book haul. My birthday was yesterday. I decided that I was just really going to, take it easy and not mess with my hair or do anything like that. um, but it's birthday weekend, so you know what that means. We have a birthday book haul because I kind of splurged many weeks ago, ordered some books in, because birthday month, right? Um, so I thought I'd save them for the birthday unhaul book haul. Not an unhaul, but anyway, let me start with this. So this is I got this from Amazon. So the other day, well, about a week ago, maybe a week and a half, they had the Amazon Day, and I guess that they had like tons of different deals going on. So the book section had three for two, so you can buy three books for the price of two. So they had a bunch of really decent history paperbacks, um, and I'm so excited. Oh, and one of them was fiction. I forgot. But anyway, I got three books for two, the price of two, and got these three. So let me go. I'll start with the fiction one I picked up because I was able to procure an. Actually, this book I had heard about. I watch the Hoover Institution's videos on YouTube. I particularly love the Goodfellows. It's an ongoing, I think, weekly or biweekly um, talk that three of the Hoover Institution fellows have, and it includes an economist, Neil Ferguson, and H.R. McMaster, along with a moderator. And they talk about tons of different things, uh, economics, the pandemic, the impacts on the economy, geopolitics, stuff like that. Anyway, Neil Ferguson had mentioned that they had all been reading this book, and it's like the new way of what the next world war might look like, with technology, and people were raving about it. So this was part of the three for two deal. So I got Ghost Fleet, a novel of the next world war by P.W. Singer and August Cole. Um, so Ghost Fleet is a page-turning imagining of a war set in a not too distant future. Um, Wow. Navy captains battle through a modern day Pearl Harbor. Fighter pilots duel with stealthy drones. Teenage hackers fight in digital playgrounds. Silicon Valley billionaires mobilize for cyber war, and a serial killer carries out her own vendetta. Ultimately, victory will depend on who can best blend the lessons of the past with the weapons of the future. So that sounds kind of cool. It's going to be like techish, kind of almost sci-fi, but it could be the future. It sounds like a really good thriller. And I love those kind of thrillers, those kind of I read espionage novels, and kind of along the lines of like maybe of a Tom Clancy, but for the new 21st century. And apparently these two already have a second book out, and I was able to procure an advanced ebook copy or PDF of it, but I didn't want to read the second book until I'd read their first one on Ghost Fleet. So this one was part of the three for two. Now the other two are history. And speaking of Neil Ferguson, I was able to land this for a song. This is the 10th anniversary edition of his The Ascent of Money, a financial history of the world. I've been meaning to read this, and this one apparently has new chapters on the crash, Chimerica, and cryptocurrency, and has a lovely new cover. This is Penguin. I collect a lot of his works. Well, I read them, and of course, I follow him on the Hoover Institution site. I'm a fan. I know not a lot of people are, but I like his work, and he knows quite a bit about just the history of money. He's done books on I think the Rothschilds. I think he did a very big history of them. I think that was it. But he's also written books on World War One, The Pity of War. Um, uh, The Square and the Tower was his most recent book about how networks work in society and civilization. So uh, this is he's known for this book, but this is the 10th anniversary edition. So I was able to nab that. And this book has been in my sites for a while, then I forgot about it, and then I was browsing, and this came up, and I cannot wait to dig in. It's slightly dated. This book came out, oh, 2018. Well, it's only 2 years old. It seems like it's been longer. But I love my Russian studies, and this is From Cold War to Hot Peace by Michael McFaul, an American ambassador in Putin's Russia. Um, so this is an insider's view of McFaul was he was with the Obama administration, and he helped craft um, the policy known as Reset, um, which featured unprecedented collaboration between the two countries under Medvedev's presidency. And as U.S. ambassador from 2012 to 2014, he witnessed firsthand how Putin's new rise interrupted this era of cooperation and returned Russian-American relations to a level of confrontation not known since the darkest days of the Cold War. Um, from the outset of his ambassadorship, the Kremlin accused McFaul of being sent by Obama not to continue the reset, but instead to foment revolution against Putin's regime. It's got this one. This version has an updated epilogue, and yeah, I've read book reviews on this book, and I've been wanting to dig into this for a while. Trying to pull back the curtain on what the hell is going on in Russia. So these were my 3 for 2 Amazon. I think the total was like maybe $25 because one of them was free. I think this one is free. So yeah, yay! All right, so the next set of books that I treated myself to were from my favorite bargain book seller, Hamilton Books. I order online from them at hamiltonbook.com. They are fantastic, and I have been saving this box. It's been in the foyer for a little while now. I wanted to save it specifically for my birthday, so in a sense, I'm going to be surprised by what's in the box. I don't really remember. All right, the first book I got is One Long Night. Let me see this. A Global History of Concentration Camps by Andrea Pitzer. I think I had seen this book before, maybe on BookTube, maybe on Steve Donahue channel. Not sure, can't remember, but this was very inexpensive, and I think at the time I bought it because it was coinciding with something I was studying. It's a groundbreaking, haunting, and profoundly moving history of modernity's greatest tragedy, concentration camps. And it takes, it's a global look. So it's not just, it looks at the Philippines, Southern Africa in the early 20th century, goes to the Soviet Gulag, detention camps in China, and in North Korea during the Cold War. Kind of looks at the overall history of their creation, the political reasoning for it, whatever. There's no reasoning, but yeah, in this harrowing work based on archival records and interviews conducted on 4 continents, Pitzer reveals for the first time the chronological and geopolitical history of concentration camps. And it all begins in the 1890s in Cuba. Wow. And then she documents their use across the globe, across the decades and around the world in those areas I just mentioned. So One Long Night, and I got that, I think it has the little bargain mark there. Oh, yes. Okay. Martine's probably going to be like, why do you read such horrible, depressing stuff? I'm trying to educate myself, and especially with everything going on right now, and I've been wanting to read some books about the rise of the new white nationalism and the I don't know if they're resurrecting. I really hope not the Klan, but they're not resurrecting the Klan, but you see these pictures of these weirdos, right, that are just, sporting this stuff in like Walmarts and stuff, and it's just like, what's going on? So I decided to I don't really know about the formation of this group or how it came about, so I thought I should educate myself. Now, this book is not about the original creation of it in the that organization in the post Civil War Reconstruction time, but this is the second coming of the KKK. The the Ku Klux Klan of the 1920s in the American Political Tradition by Linda Gordon. Um, this is by Liveright Publishing. So this is like, yeah, the second coming. It kind of, and I think this really kind of is going to touch on some of the things I read about in the Black Cabinet, because they were around still in the 1920s and into the 30s, and they were definitely a force that African Americans still had to reckon with. I'll just briefly tell you. This says a new Ku Klux Klan arose in the early 1920s, a less violent but equally virulent descendant of the relatively small terrorist Klan of the 1870s. Unknown to most Americans today, this second Klan largely flourished above the Mason-Dixon line. Wow. Its army of 4 to 6 million members spanning the continent from New Jersey to Oregon. Its ideology of intolerance shaping the course of mainstream national politics throughout the 20th century. So I just figured this is some necessary reading, just to make yourselves aware of. Yes, Martine.
Can we put them beside the occult books in the lobby so that anybody visiting the house will be truly terrified?
Yes.
Questions.
Yes. When we go to sell this place, I won't.
You wonder why, even aside from COVID, which is a handy excuse right now, why we don't have people coming over. I mean,
No,
I'm just saying.
I'm saying. It's about education. It's not about. But the title would probably scare people. Anyway, once I read it, I'll pass it along and get it out of the house. Okay. Yeah, there was a theme on this book haul. I was definitely it was an educational book haul. Everyone has been talking about this book, and it has been for a while, and I want to be in on it. I want to understand it, and this is Stamped from the Beginning: The Definitive History of Racist Ideas in America by Ibram X. Kendi. I've seen him everywhere. He's been on the news, and this is one of the many books that are out right now that people are really, got a lot of book clubs going and buddy reads. And this was a National Book Award winner. Washington Post and Boston Globe Best Book of the Year. And my love of history, and there was another book I wanted to show you guys that I got, that I bought used, but it was about the history of abolition. I'll show that on my next video. So Stamped from the Beginning, I don't even think I need to give you guys a synopsis. I think everyone has seen this book. It's really, I was surprised to be able to get a bargain copy. Brand new. It doesn't even have a remainder mark. So I'm very excited to have this and to dig into this this gentleman's work. I think he also wrote How to Be an Anti-Racist. Do you remember that book, honey, or you? No. Okay.
Sorry, I haven't been listening. I'm sorry.
Or How to Not Be Racist. But this is his prior work. He's got a more recent book out. Anyway, you guys can let me know in the comments if I got the second book wrong, the title. But yes, so I'm looking forward to reading this. All right. Oh yes, I've been wanting this one for a while to go with my studies of the Amritsar massacre in India back in 1919. This is The Patient Assassin. Let me get this up close here. A True Tale of Massacre, Revenge, and India's Quest for Independence by Anita Anand. This is a very fascinating story about what goes around comes around. And in this case, the assassin is very patient indeed. This is the dramatic and fascinatingly layered true story of a man who claimed to be a survivor of a 1919 British massacre in India, his relentless 20-year campaign of revenge, and the mix of truth and legend that made him a hero to hundreds of millions. When Sir Michael O'Dwyer awoke on the morning of April 13th, 1919, it was with a sense of growing alarm that the province over which he ruled was on the edge of revolt, owing to calls for independence from Gandhi and other agitators. Clearly, it was time to bring the city of Amritsar to heel, and he hoped that recently summoned Brigadier General Reginald Dyer, a highly capable man, would impose order. What follows was a horrible shooting in a locked courtyard, I believe. People couldn't escape. They were all gunned down. And then this is about a supposed the survivor who vowed to kill the men responsible. And listen to this. On March 13th, 1940, after journeying through Africa, this is the name of the man is Udham Singh. Udham Singh. Okay, after journeying through Africa, the United States and Europe, Udham Singh finally rendezvoused with what seems to have been necessity. And the world hasn't been the same since, so she's kind of keeping it. She's not telling you what happened, but good stuff here. All right, so this is The Patient Assassin. I gotta get these shelved. Guys, come on over and help me shelve. I need some help shelving. All right. This I thought was very interesting, and it was super cheap. And probably a book that I read, and depending on if I like it or not, I'll pass along. And not everything can stay. Nothing gold can stay. No. Sorry.
Thanks, Pony Boy.
Thanks, Pony Boy. That's right. This is The Longest Line on the Map. The United States, the Pan American Highway, and the Quest to Link the Americas, by Eric Rutkow. I think this was more of a, this is put up by Scribner, this was more of a impulse buy because I am reading 1491 about the Americas before Columbus. And I've just really been broadening my reading of, that was my dog, skittering away. I've been broadening my reading of, too much birthday cake, I guess.
Not enough birthday cake.
Or not enough. I need another slice. You know what? My mouth is dry. Let me take a sip. Doing some video action today, and you gotta stay hydrated. The Pan American Highway, monument to a century's worth of diplomacy and investment, education and engineering, scandal and sweat, is the longest road in the world, passable everywhere save the mythic Darien Gap that straddles Panama and Colombia. I think then that's why I got this book, because I've really been intrigued by the history of Colombia. I'm studying South America, the Central America right now in the 1491 book, and I'm just really, I'm intrigued by this and just entire stretch of country, or the history of South America, Central America, and I figure this will encompass a lot of further history for those areas. The highway's history, however, has long remained a mystery, a story scattered among government archives, private papers, and fading memories. In contrast to the Panama Canal and its vast literature, the Pan American Highway, the United States' other great 20th century hemispheric infrastructure project, has become an orphan of the past, effectively erased from the story of the American century. This is fascinating. So this book uncovers this incredible tale for the first time and weaves it into a tapestry that fascinates, informs, and delights. Okay. Rutkow's narrative forces the reader to take seriously the question, why couldn't the Americas have become a single region that, quote, is, and not two near irreconcilable halves that, quote, are? Well, that's interesting. Whether you're fascinated by the history of the Americas, me, or you've dreamed of driving around the globe, not me, or you simply love world records and the stories behind them, um, this is a lost epic of hemispheric scale. So that sounded kind of interesting and kind of different, um, a different type of history of a road, um, and how it. I like how if you can see right here. So this is overlaid, and you see it's like a hand, two arms, and the two continents. They're shaking, or linking the two Americas, I should say, not the continent. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Isn't that neat? Love it. All right, so that was another one I got. Oh, I also got a fiction. It was a mystery. I enjoy Anne Cleeves's mysteries, the Shetland series. I stopped reading White Nights a while ago. I just recently started it all over again, and I'm almost finished with it. But this is a brand new series that she has started, and this is called The Long Call. Introducing Detective Matthew Venn. Um, this was kind of intriguing to me because um, she's introducing a new detective that it takes place. I believe this new detective, he's gay. So it's like, I don't know how many male gay detectives we have, but.
He'll be straight in the PBS series. It's kind of like the first protagonist and how he was
Oh,
Garcia,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And he was a blonde guy.
Oh, it drove me
so
nuts.
It'll be a straight lady in the PBS adaptation. It'll be Miss Marple. It'll be an older, older straight white lady.
Let's hope not.
No.
Let's hope not. I hope we could progress.
I have $20 on that.
Again, they have the Shetland, the Jimmy Perez.
Perez, I'm sorry.
It's Jimmy Perez. Those are the books I'm reading now. That series of books, and he's of like Spanish descent, obviously, I mean, it's just. And when I went to go check out the.
You were appalled.
I was the PBS or BBC adaptation?
I think both.
Yeah, it was some older white guy, and I'm like,
I mean,
Jimmy Perez, what the hell's going on here? I was like, no, this is not how he looks in the book. He's definitely got longish black hair. He's it just did not fit, and I'm like, that's horrible. Talk about whitewashing. It was not good. So this is supposed to be a really good. This one has received some pretty good reviews, and I enjoy mysteries, as you guys know, in addition to history. And I think this is also set in. Where is this? It says in North Devon. Do you know where Devon is?
Mm-hmm.
Is that in England?
Yeah, it's it's English countryside.
English countryside. Okay, so this is in North Devon, and it's a standard, I don't need to read you the synopsis, but what is intriguing me is the fact that it's a gay male detective, and I'm kind of
for now.
For now, before Hollywood or BBC or anyone gets their hands on it.
Yeah. The marketing departments decide otherwise.
That's right. So anyway, I'll enjoy this read. I think she's got a second one in this series coming out real soon, so I wanted to get a jump on that. And it was marked down, and I was just like, I gotta get it. Okay. 3 more books, guys, and then we'll be done. We're at a 23-minute video, and I think I'm doing pretty well. I've shown you quite a bit so far. To add to my Napoleon historical library, and I don't know if Jason Harrigan has this book in his library. Jason, I know you love your Napoleon history. This is The Invisible Emperor, Napoleon on Elba, From Exile to Escape by Mark Browd. I think that's how you pronounce it. Seems like a fairly straightforward title. This came out in not too long ago, 2018. It's still a fairly new book. This is Penguin Press. Let's see. This is the extraordinary story of Napoleon's 10-month exile on the island of Elba in the Mediterranean. So here the Broad dramatizes this strange exile and improbable escape of Napoleon in granular detail and with novelistic relish. It's going to offer some sharp new insights into a largely overlooked moment. So that'll be intriguing. We'll see if that's the case. He details a terrific cast of secondary characters, including Napoleon's tragically noble official British minder on Elba, Neil Campbell, forever disgraced for having let Boney slip away. They called him Boney. Boney Napoleon. Then we also have Napoleon's young second wife, Marie Louise, who was 22 to his 44 at the time of his abdication. And then The Invisible Emperor is both a riveting jailbreak story and an original examination of how preposterous, quixotic, and grandiose ideas can suddenly leap from... What?
Nothing.
Quixotic?
Is it quixotic? Is that the word?
Oh, God. I'm going to get so dinged. Is it quixotic, like Don Quixote?
Yeah, quixotic. Yeah, one of us will get dinged.
One of us will get dinged.
Just
Someone is going...
send all complaints to Peggy, regardless.
Oh, great. Send complaints to me. Quixotic?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. I just figured... Okay. You know what?
I think I was
I'm a
27
very
when I
learned
figured
person.
that
I
one
really
out.
am. Just sometimes I... What?
I think I was 27 when I figured that one out.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to say how old I am because I just had a birthday yesterday. Preposterous, quixotic.
We're going with that.
We're going with quixotic. And grandiose ideas can suddenly leap from the imagination into reality, and that is Boney. That's all about Boney. Boney Maroney. I wonder why they called him Boney. I didn't think he was skinny. Anyway, all about Napoleon on the Elba and his escape. So that should be a fun story. Okay, 2 more books. Let me grab them from the floor here. All right. Oh, yes. This one was marked down, and it was on my list right after the time that I finished reading Pandemic 1919. Or no, 1918. I read that book. I think I shared my thoughts on it on this channel. Did a book review for it. It was right around the time that everyone was being sent home for the coronavirus, and I mean, we were starting to work from home and not go out, and everyone was freaking out and couldn't get toilet paper. And that's when I read Pandemic 1918. And there were 2 other great books on it, on the Spanish flu, I should say, that were well regarded. And I still have to read The Great Influenza by John Barry. That's the biggie. But this next one, I really wanted to read this one as well. And I've heard, I had several comments when I did the other book review that people said, well, this one was really good as well. So I thought, I'd like to get another history on it. The Pandemic 1918 was really more of a you are there type of history, and it was great, but it gave a lot of first-person detail and memories and reactions. So this, I think, will be more of a straight-up history. And this is Laura Spinney's Pale Rider, the Spanish Flu of 1918 and How It Changed the World. So, again, this was marked down. And, again, with Hamilton Book, you can get these type of books for under $10. Some of them are $6, $7, but they're in wonderful condition. So, definitely wanted to get another study on one of the biggest pandemics in recent memory. The final book looked just beautiful, and I think I might have paid just a little bit extra for it, maybe $9.95, but it's very visual and very beautiful. This is Living with the Gods on Beliefs and Peoples by Neil McGregor. This is put out by Knopf. And I hadn't seen it on there before. This is normally a $40 hardcover. Let me just read you real quick. One of the central facts of human existence is that every known society shares a set of beliefs and assumptions, a faith, an ideology, a religion, that goes far beyond the life of the individual. These beliefs are an essential part of a shared identity. They have a unique power to define and to divide us and are a driving force in the politics of much of the world today. Throughout history, they have most often been in the widest sense religious. Yet this book is not a history of religion, nor an argument in favor of faith. It is about the stories that give shape to our lives and the different ways in which societies imagine their place in the world. Looking across history and around the globe, Living with the Gods interrogates objects, places, and human activities to try to understand what shared beliefs can mean in the public life of a community or a nation, how they shape the relationship between the individual and the state, and how they help give us our sense of who we are. In deciding how we live with our gods, we also decide how to live with one another. So I thought that was very intriguing, and I wanted to explore that. It is just rife with just beautiful photos, color photos. So like a coffee table book in a sense. Part 1 is Our Place in the Pattern. Part 2 is Believing Together. Part 3, Theaters of Faith. The Power of Images, One God or Many. Powers Earthly and Divine. Those are the different sections. Just it's let me thank you. I just had to smell it. Our Place in the Pattern. It looks like a great The Beginnings of Belief. This is categorized as it doesn't say what genre on the back. Well, put together by the British Museum, BBC. So yeah, this must have been maybe a special at some point. Lamb of God. Yeah. And anyway, I thought it looked like something that would be right up my alley. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So that's it, guys. Of course, there's more around here that I could count as birthday haul, but for now, those are the ones I've selected. I will have another video coming soon for my the books I bought from the Naval Institute Press from their clearance sale, their Clear the Decks sale, which I loved. I'll show those in a separate video. I also have some really awesome new books by one of my favorite theologians, N.T. Wright, that Zondervan Publishing sent to me, and I can't wait to start reading. I think I've already selected which one I want to dive into first. So I'll make a separate video. I think it's about time I do another N.T. Wright kind of walkthrough and show you many of the books I have by him, and encourage you guys to check him out. And yeah, I think we'll leave it for there. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think of these books, if anything appeals to you, and we'll talk soon. I hope you're having a great Saturday. It's my post-birthday, and I'm still enjoying it. I'm gonna go get some cake. So, on that note, from me and Martine,
Peace out.
peace out. We'll talk to you soon, guys. Bye.